Right.
Just so you know, I'll let you guys know when we're starting. And before this came on, I kind of hinted as you two being the biggest guests we've ever had on the show. So this is going to be unprecedented outside of the brick and mortar school building kind of event. Episode 5 is so huge. Ms. Hedger, this is it.
I think it's our biggest one to date.
I don't think they're going to be able to fit this on YouTube because, and I don't mean by how long this episode goes, I mean by how amazing our guests are today. Are you
Definitely
excited?
breaking the internet.
Ms. Hedger's speechless. She literally.
I don't even know what to say.
I'm so excited. I will say.
Amazing.
We have 2 kind of interviews today with a total of 3 guests. They are the core of the Kirtland Middle School office. I can retire now as a podcaster because my goals have been achieved after doing these interviews. I say let's get right into them.
Let's go.
Let's go. Episode 5, and we've got the big guy. That's right. We dug deep into the administration office, and this took about 17 attempts to make this happen.
Right.
And thankfully, Mr. Leone, our Kirtland Middle School Assistant Principal, was able to sacrifice some time to be on the buzz line, and we are going to.
Good things come to those who wait.
This has been
True.
This has been a journey for us. It's a learning lesson.
It's been a long wait, definitely.
This involved publicists. This involved emails, back and forth scheduling. So here we are. I'm excited. I think this is going to be quite possibly the second greatest interview of all time because the best interview is coming after this one. So,
little teaser there.
Mr. Leone, welcome to the Buzzline. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thanks for inviting me to the Empire Strikes Back episode.
Oh, right. There it is.
Off to a great start.
My Star Wars geekness out there right away.
Don't worry, I have questions about that on my.
Lots of questions.
Oh, yeah. All right.
I don't know if you've met my colleague, Ms. Hedger.
I think we've seen each other in the halls before. So, Hi,
Okay.
Miss
In
Hedger.
passing. Hello, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well.
My first
I see
question.
you still haven't adopted the headphones?
No, she hasn't.
No, just little ones now.
Oh, okay.
I'm not as cool as Mr. Beans.
Well, I mean, if we're sticking with the Star Wars theme, Beans is Leia. So, no? I'll stop.
Please put a picture of that up.
I'll cut my face into the picture.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of editing in this one. I can tell.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
First question, and then Ms. Hedger, I'll let you
There are
go.
questions? No one told me about questions.
A lot of
I
questions.
understand.
A lot of questions.
We have a lot of questions.
I'm very nervous.
So, how many of those books behind you have you actually read?
Actually, like the half on my left here, these are my wife's books. And then
I was gonna
those
say.
ones are mine. Hers are more like educational, highbrow. Mine are like, Game of Thrones series, which is not actually called Game of Thrones, but that's neither here nor there. The Star Wars movies.
This
Not all
is
books.
great.
There are some intelligent books of which I didn't read any. I did
Cool.
listen to a couple on tape though. Yeah.
Do you get fired up like if the Games of Thrones people call the books Game of Thrones?
No,
And like you don't care? Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Just checking.
good to
I don't
know.
believe you, but that's fine. Ms. Hedger, I'll let you go next.
All right. Wait, was there a question in there?
It was about the
I
books.
think so. Oh, yeah.
It was about the books.
Oh, I forgot. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll start on a school-related note since a lot of our questions are not school-related, but we're just kind of picking everyone's brain about distance learning and sort of the struggles or the accomplishments, any of those sorts of things with distance learning so far.
I think our district, our teachers, our entire staff have done a great job, and our parents and students, for the most part, have really stepped up. Everyone's been fantastic. Teachers are working very, very hard to make the experiences as smooth as possible, which is not easy in these kind of challenging times. So I just want to applaud you guys, and we're gonna plug the show real quick. In the show, I mean, stuff like this, where teachers like you guys are going above and beyond, spending time to really connect to kids, give them something that they can kind of get a sense of their school community while they're away. And I love the advice you guys are giving. I love that you're bringing staff members on and asking mostly silly, fun questions. Throw some serious stuff in there too. I think that all of that, the way our community has come together, really is a testament to who we are and a testament to Kirtland. So thank you.
Definitely.
Welcome. I agree. And I don't want to toot horns, but we're doing a pretty good job from what I hear from talking to other people from other districts who are, nothing against them, but they're also trying to get something done quickly and something done effectively. And I think that it's probably a build up to what we've been doing previously, trying to use technology and trying to be innovative, that maybe this came, I don't want to say easy, but maybe it came a little bit more softly than it would have, if we had not dove into some other things, but it's worked out really good.
We were well positioned. A lot of the training that we've done with our staff, I think helped put us in a better spot than other districts. The way that we work one-to-one, the blended nature of a lot of our classes, and really trying to push our staff to do that more and more, and the willingness of our teachers to do such a great job with that when we were in the school year over the last couple of years, in the brick and mortar building, I think has really translated to us having a better plan and really being able to be ahead of the curve compared to a lot of other people. And that's no knock on them either, but I think we're doing a great job. So toot away, toot that horn.
So we're being very positive. Are there things that you're seeing that you'd like to, and it's not critical, but what are some things you think we can touch up? What are some things that you think we're working on that might get better as we continue to do this?
I just want people to continue to be risk takers. So, I think that's really important for the teachers to go outside the comfort zone. I mean, this is different than the brick and mortar environment. And we shouldn't just pretend like, hey, school is just now online. Distance learning is just happening the same way it would if we were in the classroom. It's not. It's definitely different. So take some risk, try some new things from the kids' perspective too. Like, don't be afraid to engage with your colleagues, aka your peers, the fellow students, and your teachers and your administrators and everybody in a little bit of a different way. Be a risk taker, an educational risk taker, because I think that will make this more rewarding for all of us, and hopefully get something positive out of what's not a great situation.
Yeah. One thing I like about this is there is this opportunity to kind of try something, just even more so than when you're in the building, because we have it's like a limit of resources, but also the ton of resources we have to use now. And it's like, just try something and see what happens. And I think that's cool. So Ms. Hedger, while you're here, have you ever heard, you've heard the term buzzwords, right? And it's often used in education.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Mr. Leone is now the third administrator in a row to say brick and mortar. Brick and mortar.
It's coming out like crazy.
Our new segment.
Are you with a bell every time someone says that, or?
Well, it's going to be like Sesame Street.
Funhouse, it's the word of the day. We go.
It is. That's what we're doing now.
Brick and mortar and unprecedented. That word, those are being used so much.
When you said,
guys, I'm sorry, this is all going to get cut. We have to go back. I need to redo that so I can say unprecedented.
I'll just add it in. I'll add that in right there. So yeah, sorry, I had to point that out. Ms. Hedger, I'll let you. Do you have another serious question, or do you have a fun question?
No, I think that we are moving on to the fun
question. Let's go to the fun question.
We're exhausted all serious.
Yeah, we're done with the serious question.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so the first non-serious question, we'll start with this one just because it's closest to school as possible, but if you had to pick a cartoon character for Mr. Amstutz, you're a boss there, what would you pick?
So I can't say Buzz Lightyear because obviously that one was already taken.
That was a good one, though.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. Even though I think he's more Woody and I'm more Buzz. That's fine. I mean, he's the leader. Woody's the leader.
No.
Buzz is the guy.
Reach for the sky.
Yeah. Positive, new, a little overly ambitious.
He's buying himself time right now. Buying the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about your question. I'm more prepared, actually. I'm going to counter your question with my own question, which is superhero. Because, I think he wants me to, if I'm allowed, I'll come back to cartoon. But superhero cartoons, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So he'd probably want to be Iron Man, is my guess. I think he's Hulk. And let me tell you why, Miss Hedger.
Okay, good. Okay, good. You're good.
He comes into the room, he's smashing things. It's Mr. Amstutz way. But when you really sit down and think about how smart Hulk is, especially if you've ever, if you know anything actually about superheroes and the backstory, he's a scientist, a genius. Mr. Amsos taught science. A really smart guy, doesn't always get credit. Doesn't always get credit for his brains. He's always thought about like his brawn and him being like that strong leader. But he's actually a really smart leader too. So
can you imagine how much hearing the Hulk is going to inflate his ego because of the structure and size, of the Hulk?
He is 6'12" principal, so
he's changing his profile picture on Twitter to the Hulk after this for sure.
I'm pretty sure he wanted me to tell him he was Iron Man.
He'll definitely be on the Buzzline in the future. He can discuss this.
Sure.
Does that satisfy the cartoon?
That's fine.
I mean,
I can go with something else.
That was better. That was better than I thought. I guess my next question would be,
checking this list.
I do. I have a list right here. Does your hydro flask actually make you feel more hydrated?
I heard you talk about my Lion.
The Lion has come up in past episodes, yes.
And you guys didn't mention the Bike Ohio.
That's not as cool.
No,
that's not as cool. So do you feel
does it make you feel, if I actually drink it? Yes, it does. Sometimes I forget, and this is back in the old days when we were in the brick and mortar. Can I get no crazy? We're not doing the
day.
When I remember to drink it, yes, it makes me feel more hydrated. I guess that's not any more than any other water bottle. It's just a way for me to get a lot of water.
Now, hydro flasks. Did you have one before you came to the middle school? Because they were cool in middle school. So did you always have a hydro flask, or?
Man, I've had one for years. My wife is way cooler than I am, and she basically has like a store in our house. If anyone wants any hydro flasks, I'd be happy to get rid of all of them, except for mine.
No, I have met your wife. We met at a Christmas party, and I concur. She's cooler than you.
No, everybody who meets her will say that. So
yes,
that's a hot take. No.
All right, that's not edgy. I'm glad we addressed that because that was a big, question around the staff about the hydro flask.
I'm incredibly lucky because she definitely, I aimed high and got it. She aimed low.
Yeah.
Aww.
We'll have her on. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get her on here.
Ms. Hedger, go ahead.
All right. So this will be a two-part question, but the first part would be, what is the difference between Star Wars and Star Trek?
Okay, this interview is over. I am so disappointed.
Told you.
What is wrong with you? What's the difference?
Told you.
So I don't want to offend any Trekkies out there, but I mean, Star Trek is kind of the poor man's Star Wars. No, I mean they're actually both great. They're very, very different though. Some people, I would not fall into this camp, seem to think that Star Trek's more intellectual. I don't agree. I mean, like there's 18 different Star Trek. Yeah, Star Trek.
Yeah.
That's why I don't agree. If it was the other way, I would certainly agree because I like Star Wars better. I mean, like what kind of Star Trek has like 18 different television shows right now? Like overcompensating much?
I've heard that. Well, but now, yeah, but Star Wars has like remakes and its own series and animated series.
It's all new. It's different. It's unique. It's adding to the layers of the wonderful world.
Could their worlds collide at any point or no?
No, that's a ridiculous question. I'm ready for the second part of Miss Hedger's question because you're just dumb.
The second part then would be, how many lightsabers do you own?
Just one.
One.
That guy said he should have two.
Yeah. A friend of mine told me to ask this question and said that you should have at least two.
I agree. I mean, like, well, like full-size lightsabers or any? That's maybe a different question.
I mean,
so you have miniature lightsabers?
Well, I mean, like, yeah, I've got some like Lego Star Wars that have like.
But one that you could actually use. You just have one.
Just one of those. I used to have a one when I was younger, which is probably more appropriate now that I think about it,
like 3 years ago.
Yeah, like 3 years ago. Neither here nor there. But I have since lost that one, but my wife got me a new one to replace it. So.
Oh man, that wife is coming through.
Yep.
This is equivalent to we talked about this a couple episodes ago about my knowledge of professional wrestling and how much my wife puts up with that. So I understand kind of where your wife's coming from.
Yeah, I liked your Shawn Michaels answer, by the way.
Thank you. You know what though? It's funny. I I saw the episode, and then this past weekend was WrestleMania, and I decided, I'm like, you know what though, my all-time favorite is The Undertaker. So I wanted to go back and address it.
Now,
so
you asked Kelly if she had ever heard of The Undertaker.
Nothing.
No.
You got crickets. Yeah, I used to be a wrestling fan when I was in like high school. I'm not gonna lie, don't watch it anymore. But
yeah, I don't watch too much, but it's a
if you give me a video game question, because I know you've been asking that, you're gonna be disappointed because I pretty much stopped doing those in high school as well. But I will let you know my favorites if you.
But you have Legos?
Yeah.
Okay.
Final Fantasy, by the way, is my favorite video game of all time.
So wait, which one? Final Fantasy 7?
Final Fantasy 7 for sure.
So this is so great because did you know that they remade it? They remade Final Fantasy 7 and it comes out this Friday. So they remade it for like modern graphics and modern storylines.
My mind is.
And that
could get me back into video games.
Another caveat to that is my birthday's Friday, and I'm talking to my wife. I'm like, I don't buy a lot of video games. I'm like, that kind of, I got a little time here. We're stuck here.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, Final Fantasy, Kelly,
that's a good game.
Wow.
Big Final Fantasy 7.
Good game.
Yeah, it's top notch.
I had the strategy guide when that came out because I got
Yeah, I didn't need that.
Okay, well, so
it's your turn, Mr. Beans.
This is a good question, and I'm gonna mess this question up. I know I am, but we thought about this. So Kelly, Hedger, whatever your name is, I'm gonna put it this way, and I want to see what he says. If Mr. Bell, our guidance counselor, had you over for dinner, what do you think he would cook for you?
Well, I'm assuming that we would be outside camping. Hopefully, our love of bikes. So he's more of a dirt bike guy. We'd gone on a nice ride, and I don't know. For some reason, I feel like as we were on the ride, Mr. Bell, aka Batman, would have probably done some hunting, and we would have like venison or something. I have no idea.
Do you think he would? Do you think
Wait,
he would have?
Mr. Bell rides dirt bikes?
He likes to hit the trails.
Wow.
What is your favorite TV show, and why is it not The Office?
Okay, that's a loaded question.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to answer for Kelly's crowd. It's The Bachelorette, obviously. Greatest show ever.
Oh my gosh, this is so big.
I do watch The Bachelor and Bachelorette, unfortunately, because my wife loves it, even though she knows it's terrible.
Right, of course it's terrible.
My favorite, so it has to be a show, not movie. Yep. So I can't just go to like Star Wars.
You can't just say I guess that's Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah. That's tricky. How about Star Wars? The Clone Wars, because that's a show.
Is it the animated one?
Yeah, that's not my favorite though. That's a weak answer.
I'm surprised that you don't watch The Office. Like I feel like you would be an Office guy.
Dude, you're missing so much about The Office. I mean,
yeah.
Parks and Rec, my
That's
wife says is amazing. Nah, I don't watch it. I don't know.
Parks and Rec is like.
I'll say my favorite show right now is Schitt's Creek.
Love that show.
Great. We're actually we're done with Netflix one, so we downloaded the Pop app for our TV so we can watch the current and final season. That show's really funny.
What is I guess if you were to start a band, what kind of band would it be? Like what kind of music and like what would be your focus?
Changing the world would definitely be my focus. Mm-hmm. Big Bob Dylan fan. I also like a lot of classic rock or classic rock kind of esque bands. So like Led Zeppelin, Black Crowes. So probably like a folky classic, like true classic rock. Not too heavy hard rock stuff, but like stuff with some cool messages. I don't know.
So basically what I've realized is that I wouldn't have been friends with either of you ever because I don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's probably
last question before we get our guests in here. What is your favorite lunch at the school cafeteria?
I always pack.
I've never eaten a school lunch.
I do not. I have never had anything actually.
Really?
I apologize to our wonderful lunch people. I'm sure that it's all delicious, but I'm a packer. So normally, actually, what's been kind of cool about this whole situation, what's the word I'm supposed to use? Unprecedented. This unprecedented situation is that I love cooking, and I haven't really done a ton of cooking since I became a principal. It's just time constraints and the nature of my job. So I still cook, but not nearly as much. So been able to cook a little bit more, just because I can throw something into the Instapot or the crock pot, or even just carve out 45 minutes to cook something, because I'm here, even if I have to go back and get some work done. So
that's what I've been doing too.
Nice, actually.
So I guess I'll just let you guys know that I've had the chicken sandwiches and they're pretty good.
Really?
Nice.
I feel like that's
half the questions you ask are just so you can answer them. Just saying.
It's all about me, guys. If you have not realized that this is all about me, I don't know how else I can tell you.
No, it's good. It works really well.
This whole time I forgot I had made tea. It's right here. So as I sip my tea, I think this is a perfect segue. Mr. Leone, well, I must admit this has been, probably our biggest grab for a guest.
Oh, definitely.
I can't begin to express the amount of excitement I have for what's going to happen next.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great.
Okay? So coming up next, we will have part 2 of this. It is going to blow your mind. Welcome back to episode 5, the Star Wars episode that Leone Christian did earlier. Anyways, guys, we have Gigi, Mrs. Powell, and Mr. Bell here on the buzz line.
This is amazing.
The biggest thing that I could have ever asked for out of this podcast. And, I don't want to go on a rant here, but when we started this journey as podcasters, I thought to myself, one day we'll get to the top of that mountain, and that mountain will be Gigi and Mr. Bell. And here we are. And it's happening. And, to the both of you, I just thank you so much for joining us.
You are quite welcome.
Thanks for having us. I was going to say, that's where you talk. That's fine. No, we're going to get good at this.
I'm honored. Honored.
We're honored to have you.
It's all on this side. Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. My plan was I have one sport coat. I was going to throw that on for this event and dress up, but my daughter's sleeping, so I don't want to wake her up.
Leave a sleeping child lie.
See, it's that kind of knowledge and advice that I miss on a daily basis.
Too.
So I guess we'll start off. We have some questions for you that I am so excited to get to. But, first, why don't we just ask Gigi, Mrs. Powell, what have you been doing kind of with some of your extra time at home during this lockdown?
Well, I have done a lot of FaceTiming with my grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
They also put an app on my phone, or I should say I put an app on my phone. It's called Marco Polo. And it was quite interesting, where I would record myself as a video, and then whenever they are free to look at it, they will look at the video, and then it goes back and forth. So anytime during the day, I can pick up my phone, look at my Marco Polo app, and it says I have my grandchildren talking to me.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's cool.
It's neat. It's something I never heard about before.
Yeah.
But we've done that with my grandchildren, and so that's been fun.
Okay.
And we celebrated my last grandson. He was 1 2 weeks ago. We celebrated his birthday virtually over the Marco Polo app, and so it was fun. I wish we could have all been together, but unfortunately, the times that we're in right now, we sang virtual. And I've been cleaning my house, which it needed.
Of course.
I've been trying to take a walk every day, and this is usually the time I take my walk. So I decided I better join in with you guys rather than take my walk. I'll go out for a walk. I'll do a walk later.
Do you want to carry your laptop with you and just walk around the house?
No. That's fine.
Okay.
It quit raining, so that's perfect. I can go out when we're done talking.
So just in the last 60 seconds, we've learned about a new app, and we got a weather report from Gigi. And these are the kind of things that I think we're missing.
I agree.
But anyways, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I hope everybody is plugging along and they're doing well, and everybody stays safe.
That's sweet of you. Mr. Bell, what are you doing with this time? I can't even begin to imagine have you built anything? Have you recorded an album? What kind of things are happening at your home?
Yeah, nothing too exciting, nothing like that. Just trying to get a lot of exercise, get out whenever I can.
Okay.
Keep in touch with the family. A lot of domestic chores since the whole family's home. There's always dishes and things to clean.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, my house is a wreck right now. I don't know what that's about. Mr. Bell, is it true, there's a rumor, is it true you can do 140 push-ups?
At one time,
Yes. Yeah.
maybe half of that. Yeah.
That's a big number.
Wow.
Impressive.
Wow.
I'm willing to bet that Mr. Bell can out push up Mr. Coxon. That's my
Oh,
bet.
for sure. I agree with that.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
No
right.
problem.
That's kind of bold, but
Mr. Bell said no problem. Mr. Bell's mental. He would just stay in it. Like the whole
Exactly.
time concentrated.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe that could be your next video.
I will see what
That's
I
a
can
good
set
idea.
up. I will see what I can set up.
Okay.
Wow, I am overwhelmed with excitement. Ms. Hedger, I'm going to let you kind of go with the first question. We can do, both at once, or we can separate, whatever. I don't know.
Well, our first question was, whoever wants to answer can take it, but if Mrs. Powell, Mr. Bell, and Mr. Leone were all to hang out, what do you guys think you would do
For fun.
for fun if you were to get together and hang out?
Oh,
I'm saying charades.
go out to dinner because I like to eat.
Yeah, I would say probably dinner.
Mr. Leone just wants to play games. You guys want to go to eat.
Charades with me? Let's go.
Because we can't go out to eat right now. So
That's a good point.
that would be
That's true.
so.
Mr. Bell, what's your favorite restaurant?
Favorite restaurant? Downtown 140.
Where's
Kelly?
that? I
It's
don't know
in
where that is.
downtown Hudson.
Oh, okay.
Well,
What kind of food is it? Sounds fancy.
It is fancy. Yeah, it's a special occasion kind of place, but very, very good, very small. There's steaks and seafood and things like that. Pastas.
do you want to go there for my birthday?
You and I?
Sure.
I understand you have a birthday coming up.
I do. It's going to be on Friday. Actually, this was my present. Mr. Leone, nothing, Gigi, I love you, but I told Mr. Leone if I could get Mr. Bell on here for my birthday, that's all I wanted.
Oh, well, that's nice because
Yeah.
you're not getting a card from the social staff into your mailbox
Or a candy bar.
or
That's
a
fine.
candy bar.
That's fine. I just want that refunded out of the
Yeah, we
fee.
need all those dues back.
So,
Well, that's something you need to talk to Jennifer about. So
Not hap-
I'm
not
gonna. We're
happening.
gonna. I'm
Not
gonna.
happening.
Maybe
Good
you
luck.
guys can get Jennifer on the show.
I know.
Be your guest, and you can ask her on the spot. And everyone's watching, so she can't say no.
She's my number 2 behind Mr. Bell. I'm not going to lie.
Mrs. Powell, do you think she would come on if we asked her?
I doubt it. I doubt it because she can't even get her email on her phone. So
True.
I'm not really sure. Sorry, Jennifer, but I'm not really sure she would be able to do this. I'm surprised I can do this. So
Mrs.
doing
Powell,
great.
you're safe. If she can't get her email, she's never going to be able to watch this. So she'll have no idea that you said that.
Yeah,
True.
you're good.
true.
So I actually, because this was a huge occasion, I did ask our colleagues if they had any questions they wanted to ask you guys because I knew how monumental this would be. So I'm just going to shoot some questions at you from our staff members. This first one, I'll start with you, Mr. Bell. Mrs. Riley, our lovely English teacher, would like to know, Mr. Bell, who is your favorite superhero?
I don't really watch a lot of those kind of movies, but I don't know, Superman.
Oh, man, we had so much money on Batman. So much money on Batman.
Batman's cool.
Yeah, he's cool, I guess. Well, all right. Mrs. Oh,
It's okay, Mr. Beans.
that crushed
I
it.
would have said Batman.
Thank you. See, Gigi? Way to carry the team.
I would
What are you
have.
talking about? Mr. Bell, why Superman?
It's the first one that came to mind.
There it is.
Never really thought about it before.
Truth, justice, and the American way. That's why.
Okay.
Right.
All GB right there.
Mrs. Powell,
Yes.
who makes your lunches
Who makes my lunches?
that you bring to, you eat them, I think, 5th period, usually by yourself in that little room?
So
Who makes
sad.
those lunches?
Sounds so sad.
It is.
Well, I would say I do, but in the last month it was Clean Eats that made my lunches.
Yeah.
That's what we've been doing.
Little,
Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm making my own.
okay. A
I'm
little
still
plug.
getting them. Yeah,
Are you? Good for you.
clean eats.
Good.
I'm not. This is from Miss Masterangelo, and we'll ask both of you guys this one. Why, Mr. Bell, why did you choose to become a guidance counselor? Yeah, let's start with that because this question's written really weirdly. Shout out to Michelle. Why did you choose to become a guidance counselor? Oh, teacher then guidance counselor. Is that what it is? Were you a teacher then a guidance counselor?
I was a social studies teacher at the high school.
So why'd you transition?
About 15 years. Just wanted to help students any way I can, provide some guidance. I remember what it was like going through school. It was difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It was difficult growing up, and really wanted to help kids get through that.
Okay. And
A little piece of knowledge, sorry to chime in,
sure.
but Mr. Bell taught social studies to my son, he is now 34 years old.
And daughter.
Did you have Kristen?
Yeah.
No, I didn't think you had my daughter.
Mom fail. Boom.
Well, anyways, he had my son. I knew that. So.
Gigi, who's smarter, your son or your daughter?
Oh, how can you say that?
You know the
I
truth.
would have to say
Terrible question.
You know the truth.
I can't pick between the both of them.
Just text
So
me
I'm
later.
going to say they're both as smart as each other.
Do they
Well,
know
one
that?
of them probably has street smart and one probably has book smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good.
Ms. Powell, before you were a cheerleader in the NFL, then you became a secretary. What kind of was your transition for that?
Oh my gosh. Well, before I became a school secretary,
Mhm.
I was a secretary at a construction company. And believe it or not, the construction company, the offices where I went into are where the board offices are right now
Whoa.
in Kirtland.
Wow.
Believe it or not, that was a construction company. They had a bunch of construction vehicles there. I worked right in, as you walk in the door of the board office, I worked there for 10 years. There was a little window there, and that's where my desk was, believe it or not. And then I had children. So I did take a break, and I took care of my children at home. Then I did some house cleaning, and then I also substituted in the schools for the cafeterias, the secretary, and whatnot. So I substituted for the lady that was in the job prior to myself. I substituted for her for 3 years. And I got to learn the ropes, and when it was time for her to retire and I interviewed, they felt I knew what I was doing. So I got the job 25 years ago.
Wow.
So that's what brought me to you guys.
So what are you going to do when you grow up?
Good question.
I still ask myself that question too.
Yeah. I really don't know, to be honest with you.
Just play Marco Polo. Just keep going with
Marco Polo.
that
That's
app.
right.
You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Miss Hedger, I don't want to, I'm just so excited I keep going. Do you want to chime in with
No,
a question?
you keep going.
Because, Mr. Bell, what's it like to be a national treasure and just a hero?
Hero, national
Yeah.
treasure. I don't know about that.
Is that a lot of pressure on you?
Yeah, there's no pressure on me.
Let's see. I'm reading a question from our staff now. This is from Mr. Coxon. I don't know if you've met him. He's a math teacher. If you could go back in time, Mr. Bell, and become anything that you wanted to be besides a counselor or a teacher, what would it be?
Fireman.
Wow. So again, a hero. You were just a modern hero. You were a constant first responder. God, this is so exciting to just have you here. Miss Powell,
Yes.
is it true that you play Candy Crush?
It is true.
Why
I
do you
play Candy Crush.
Why do you play during work hours?
I never play during work hours. I only play during lunchtime.
I'm kidding.
Don't-
I'm kidding.
Don't get
Wow,
rumor.
Mr. Beans.
Wow.
God.
I'm kidding.
I think I need to leave this interview.
She never has.
Trouble.
I do play at lunchtime,
I want to catch her off
but I
guard.
would never play at my desk.
I know you don't. You're too good.
I
You
know.
need two shoes. This
That's
is a
right.
true story. true story about Mrs. Powell. Okay, this is a
Oh my.
Buzzline exclusive. So
Uh-oh.
we have this water jug in the office.
Oh.
And hold on, Miss. I'm gonna mute you, Miss Powell, because you know what? I want to tell my side. So you're muted. So we have this water jug that gets refilled from a company, and at the time, this is a couple years ago, this is the only like filtered water we had. Now everyone will tell you, I drink a lot of water. I'm gonna unmute Miss Powell because I feel bad. I drink a lot of water. Like I probably drink the equivalent of at least 4 of these a day. I just constantly drinking water. So there's a whole thing where you pay however much money to be in the water club. And I'd only been in Kirtland a couple years. I think maybe my second year. So I think I paid $5. And I started to, now I have the privilege, the VIP of being able to go into the office and fill up my water. Well, after about 2 months, I get a little note saying, yeah, you're either going to have to start paying a lot more for the water club or you got to go. So I'm officially no longer in the water club.
Who wrote you the note?
I
Mrs.
didn't
Powell?
say you had to go.
You didn't.
I just say you were going to pay more.
Yeah, and it was like $20 or something. It was like.
Well, we were running out. You kept drinking it all. And
I'm healthy. I can't help it.
well, I know that, so I had to charge you more.
I know.
I'm sorry. I'm never going to live that down, am I? I'm
No,
never going to live that down.
I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. I thought it was so funny. But hey,
Well,
it worked out because
Yeah.
now we have those fountains with the built-in filter
Right.
that are allegedly.
Well, I hope you still
filtered.
like me, though. I hope you still like me from.
Pal, I love you. You are my
Yeah.
hero. I've told another breaking news, Miss Hedger. When Mrs. Powell does retire, I've made the commitment that I'm out. I can't do this.
Oh
without
my
Mrs. Powell.
gosh, you're
So,
not going.
We'll see. Me
No,
and Mr.
Mrs.
he's
Powell,
not.
looks like you have to stay.
This program's teaching me a lot of things I don't think I want to know.
Miss Hedger, I want to give you a chance to ask some questions, so feel free.
I think our question, because we asked Mr. Leone earlier, so we want to see if Mr. Bell's response aligns. But if you were going to cook Mr. Leone a meal, if you had him over, what would you make him?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. And I make pretty basic meals, so
Maybe like grilled cheese or something?
Hey, his lunches are always pretty good. I don't know
Yeah.
who's making.
Yeah.
He has good lunches.
Good salads.
I do make jambalaya, homemade.
There you go.
Could it be venison jambalaya so I could be correct?
We can make it different ways. That's the beauty of jambalaya.
There you go.
Not wrong, is what you're saying.
Mr. Leone predicted you would both go biking?
Biking.
Dirt biking? Is that what it was?
Well, he would dirt bike. I would just regular bike.
And you would literally hunt and kill dinner. That's what Mr. Leone
It's
envisions.
funny because I don't think Mr. Bell's a hunter. We've never talked about that. When we were out, you're very outdoorsy, so I just kind of figured that, that would just happen.
Mr. Bell gives that vibe. He gives that vibe. Like he'd survive. He'd be okay. Yeah. Great answer. Hold on.
Did you have any more?
I do.
It's been my spring break down in North Georgia mountains, mountain biking and camping, in National Forest.
And that actually comes, that's from Mr. Moran. Mr. Moran had a question about, it wasn't really a question. Mr. Moran wanted to hear about your four-wheeling and your trips to West Virginia. So anything exciting you want to share with Mr. Moran, Dr. Moran, who is also in love with you?
Well, we've talked about it quite a bit. We've gone to some of the same four-wheeling places down in West Virginia.
Okay.
I have McCoy trails. I usually go every summer with my buddies. Stay in a cabin. Last time we stayed there, a bear came up to the door at night, and
you fought it?
No, I heard something on the front porch. I looked out the window, and there was the bear right in front of me. Kind of scared me a bit.
Did it run away when it saw your face?
No, we made some noise and it kind of trotted off, but it was, it's a 500-pound brown bear.
I feel like
to be clear, that sounds like it saw you and ran away.
I think it did.
Mr. Bell, one bear.
And I feel like
some peanut butter crackers is what he was after.
I feel like you could have taken that bear with your bare hands. No pun intended.
Yeah. I'm gonna try.
Hey, Mr. Moran, the follow-up question from Moran was, why don't you ever invite him to West Virginia?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm just kidding. You didn't ask that.
Oh, that would have been great.
This is for both of you. Mrs. Summerhill would like to know, what is your favorite indulgent food or your way to relax?
That one for me?
Sure, for both of you, yeah. You can go first, Mr. Bell.
I like how I'm not included in any of these.
You're hanging
No.
out, buddy.
I feel like you should have gotten rid of me after our segment.
No, I like having your reactions.
No.
Favorite food, indulgent food would probably be pizza. Love pizza.
Yeah.
I've seen you take down some pizza at school. Yeah.
Yep, love it.
How about you, Mrs. Powell? Favorite food or a favorite way to relax?
My favorite way to relax is yoga, which I have been doing.
Oh.
Believe it or not, yeah, on the TV. I've been watching the person on the TV. But my favorite food is sweets and bakery. Can you believe that?
Do those go together? The bakery and the yoga?
No, the bakery. I like baked foods, bakery foods. But
Mrs.
my
Powell?
favorite, I like steak. That would be my favorite meal.
That's what I'm having on Friday for my birthday.
Can I ask a follow-up question to that?
Absolutely.
It's in the spirit of Buzzline. I feel like we need to know how many pieces of pizza Mr. Bell can eat, because that, tacos, pizza, that seems to come up a lot on the quantity. And so, Mrs. Powell, how many sweets do you think? I mean, we need to come up with like a standard size here. Could you eat in one sitting? Let's go to the brownie. Do you like brownies? What's your favorite sweet?
Yes, I like brownies. In one sitting, I'm only going to eat one.
No, like there's no rules. It won't hurt you in any way. As many as you want. What's the most you can eat? Mr. Bell, same for you on the pizza.
Probably two. But then I would come back a couple hours later and have some more.
You
No,
can
say
only.
it.
Oh,
You're lying.
wow.
That's a disappointing answer.
It is.
Sorry.
Bob.
Mr. Bell, pizza?
Well, maybe 3 pieces. Back in my Army days or back in college, I could probably eat a whole medium pizza, but not anymore.
I think that's the real answer. Whole pizza.
Mr.
Yeah.
Bell.
How about you, Mr. Leone? How many
Oh, yeah.
pieces can you eat?
I didn't say that was my favorite food, so I'm out.
Oh.
I could eat a whole pizza, no problem.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Mr. Bell, how cool were you in college?
Not very cool at all. Not like you.
Mr. Beans thinks he was really cool. I don't know. We just talked, and
we did.
we would be friends, so I'm not sure how cool he would be.
I wasn't cool. I've never been cool. I don't know. I do want to ask this question, and Gigi, this is for Mr. Bell, and I apologize. I'll get one for you.
That's okay. That's fine.
I just love that you're here. It's like a warm hug. It's a warm virtual hug. Mr. Bell, if you were going to start a band, what kind of band would it be, and what kind of music would it be?
Oh, I don't know, maybe progressive bluegrass.
See? God, that's so awesome. And now everyone, what you need to do is go to Google and Google progressive bluegrass, and I'll put that on the bottom for you. You can just copy and paste. How many members would be in your band? Are we talking a couple?
Yeah, probably 5.
Would you let Mr. Beans be in your band?
That was my next question.
Of course.
Thank you.
Wow.
Do you ever watch Steve Martin play banjo?
Yeah.
It's pretty
Sure.
good. He's good.
Yep.
Yeah. I had a banjo once, but I didn't learn it. So
I play kazoo, so if there's any room for a kazoo player, I'm in.
so does my daughter. She's 2.
I play piano. I can help out.
Do you want to sing, Miss Powell?
I could try to sing. I was just going to say
Try
that.
it right now.
I'm not a very good singer. No, thank you. I'm not a very good singer. I can
There
lip
are
sing.
5 of us here, and Mr. Bell did say 5, so I'm pretty sure you're looking at the future bluegrass.
Yes.
There you go.
This is all
Who's the
happening.
name? And Mr. Bell, you have the honors of naming this. So think about that before the end of the segment.
Absolutely.
All right, guys.
Oh my.
I think
So
this
what
is
do
the
you?
end of the show.
What do you? Listen. I don't really have any more questions
Yeah,
left.
this has been great.
I just want you two to know that I feel fulfilled with our podcast journey with this. Mr. Bell, you are a man of mystery, so to have you on here, is it's huge. This is gonna go viral. I think this is gonna be big. And Mrs. Powell, like I said, nothing can compare to, beside the water thing, what you bring to the work family. And
Thank you.
It's true.
Thank you very much. It's been my honor to be here.
All right, well, guys, this has been episode. Yeah, Mr. Bell, you are welcome anytime, buddy. Anytime.
Just pop on.
This has been episode 5, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And feel free to shoot all of your questions about life to Mr. Bell and questions about yoga to Gigi. All right.